Story number one. So this happened to me when I was probably 19 and I was working night shift. So even though it's night shift, we'll exit the shift around 2 a.m. and one of my coworkers will come and since she had a car, she used to give me a ride home because she also lived close by, which it was fine and all, but she had temper problems. So every time that she was upset about her shift, just raging on the car and accelerating very fast or hitting the brakes out of nowhere and starting cursing. So, I thought she just had a bad day. But the third time that she brought me, we were on a ride back and she was telling me about all these things that the manager did to her. That she was not properly treated, that she will have quitted already if this wasn't if she didn't need the job, and all these things that you can obviously tell that something is wrong with her. And she kept telling me that they don't value her effort, that she was gonna go elsewhere. Funny enough, she always spoke about, I'm gonna go elsewhere. People are gonna miss me. I know that people are gonna miss me. I know this. So, even though it was like 2, 3 a.m., there were some cars in the around the road. And it's not like because it's night that you can do anything you want, even though, like, sometimes seeing Uber drivers or taxis drive to the traffic light without looking at the light because there's nobody. That can be a little bit dangerous because if everybody thinks the same way on at night, there could be many, you know, collisions and stuff like that. So she was just like telling me about this and how she had a bad day. Um, how her boyfriend just left her, that it was unfair, that she was having a hard time even dealing with regular stuff. She was a single mother, so she was going out with somebody, they dump her or she dumped him. And basically we were next to a car and the car decided to accelerate and pass almost in front of her and she started honking her car sound and yelling at the guy. And since her windows were down, I don't know if the guy was listening, but she was like saying, "Wow, how did this idiot just pass us by? We're like, there's nobody on the street. He's doing this to piss me off. I'll show him." So she started like racing the guy. And the car this guy had, I'm not an expert on cars, but it was really fast. It was really fast. And I was just like, hanging to dear life, trying to see if we crash. I hope that I don't die. I hope these airbags do their job or something. But she kept accelerating to the point that she was almost next to a guy. And there was like a traffic light, and the guy, stopped, like slowly, but stopped. And she just like went next to him and said, "Hey, you." Before she could say a bad word, the guy just rolled down his window, showed us a real big gun. Again, I'm not an expert on guns, but the gun looked huge. And he just said, "Is there any problem?" And she just looked at him and said, "No, but you almost killed us when you pass in front of us." And he was like, "Well, if I wanted to kill you, I could do it here right now." She just looked at him stare. The guy was very seriously, and the guy was staring seriously, and she just, stayed like quiet. It was probably the longest traffic light of my life. The guy just speed. He didn't even wait for the red to turn green, and he just left. And my boss was there just looking at me like, "Do you see what that guy did? He showed us a freaking gun." I was like, "Yeah, I know, but I wasn't justifying I wasn't justifying the guy. I was just saying if he was that in a hurry and he has such a big gun, maybe he had people on the back. We don't know because the car had black tinted windows." She brought me home, and ever since then, I'm glad that she switched workplaces because I wouldn't like to be caught next to her whenever she had one of those road rages incidents. And after that, I never encountered any other problem coming back home because I used the company transportation services during the night. And those people were more, let's say, professional. They didn't like get mad or interact with people. They just wanted to um, pretty much like a delivery service, deliver the person and move on with their life. Number two. So this happened to me maybe when I was 22, 23, and uh, this happened when I was working near a place that is like 1 mile away. And there was this girl that I used to talk to, and she used to like give me a ride uh to my job. Not a ride back, but just a ride home because it was like pretty much a straight line. Imagine like maybe 2 kilometers or a mile just straight road, and she lived like close to my house, but she just passed by that road and she will give me a lift. Something that was very unsettling with this person. When I opened her door once, a lot of beer cans came out like flooding from the passenger seat. And I was like, well, maybe she forgot to clean the car or something. And I was like, this is all beers and alcohol. Don't get me wrong, she never smelled like alcohol or she never acted drunk. But I think she used like to party all night and just leave the trash in her car. I mean, it's not a good indicator when somebody's doing that. So, I entered the car and everything, and it looks like she also wore like glasses, but she wasn't wearing them because she was like, what does that sign says? I was like, it says that the speed limit is X, Y, and Z. And she was like, okay, all right. Yeah, it's just that I cannot see properly. I forgot my glasses. I'm like, she's riding without her glasses. I'm like, how far can you see? And she said, I'm not going to lie. I see you kind of blurry. And I was like, okay. She probably brought me to my job like 3 times or twice. But the last time she, I was at the bus stop because I didn't even message her. She just passed by. Um, and she told me, "Hey, you want to ride to work?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, sure, okay." I opened her passenger door. Beer cans just fall all over the place. People at the bus stop looking like a maze. Like, oh my god, so much trash. And I enter, and she was like, "Yeah, it's just that yesterday I was at a party, and we danced all night." I was like, "But if you dance all night, like, are you somehow able to drive?" She's like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm doing fine." So, you know, we reached the first traffic light because there were, I think there were two or three. And the first one, she says, "Oh, there are no cars," and she runs the red light. Nothing happens. Second one, she's like, "Oh, there's nobody." She runs the red light. Nothing happens. On the third one, she almost ran over somebody, and obviously, the guy was super upset, yelling at her, and she was like, "Oh, sorry, sorry. It's just that, um, oh no, I cannot see properly, or I didn't see you. Sorry, my bad, my bad." And when we reached the parking lot, I wanted to exit the car, but she was like, "Can you tell me," because her mirror didn't work, right? "If I'm reaching the wall," I'm like, "I cannot see." So I exited the car. I was like, "Just hit the accelerator a little bit so you can park the car." And she hit it so hard that she hit the wall, and the car almost almost shrink when she hit the wall. And basically, this was during the night. There were no security guards or anything. And basically, she said, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do with my car?" And she told me, "Can you, you know, accompany me to it was a repair shop for cars." And I used to arrive very early at my jobs. I still do. I usually arrive there with 1 hour or 30 minutes because of the traffic jams. Because if they want to fire you for something, they'll use something that is called I think it's called it's not being on time. It's another word, but I cannot remember it. But anyway, she was like, "Okay." So we drove her car to a shop, her repair shop. And the guy was like, "Yeah, this repairment is gonna cost you like $200. This part is ruined and everything." And when we were at the repair shop, some very very weird guy approaches us, and he's like, "Hey, you guys need a ride?" I'm like, "No, we don't." And this girl is like, "Well, yeah, maybe let me check and I'll let you know." And I was like, "Okay." And I told this girl, like, "Listen, we don't know the guy. Why is he waiting for us outside of the repair shop? He was probably following us. He's a creep." And she was like, no, 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 let's go because I'm gonna be late. She entered like, I don't know if it was like an hour before my shift. So thankfully she was on shift, but people that are never on time, they rarely care about that. So, she pays the guy and she said, oh, can I come here? And like after my shift, it's gonna be in the morning. And the guy said, yeah, yeah, you can come over. So she tells me, let's hop in this guy's car and let's go to work. And I was like, no, I'd rather take an Uber. And the guy, we exit the repair shop. He was waiting there, just looking around. And he pretty much says, okay, get in. And I was like, no, I'm going to ask for an Uber. And she said, no, no, not you, her. I'm not taking you. I'm like, okay. And she starts telling me, yeah, no, if I don't go with him, I'm not going to go. And the guy from the weird guy from the car is like, oh, no, you have to get in. I was like, no, she doesn't, right? If she doesn't want to. And he said, no, you don't understand. You have to get in. And she starts like, pulling my coworker like almost inside the car. I didn't see a weapon or anything, so I started like pulling her to my side and everything. And the guy says, "If you guys don't get in, I'm gonna kill one of you." And I was like, "What the hell?" So around that area, there's a lot of patrol cars like patrolling around, and I did see some flashlights like far away. I was like, "Oh my god! Thank God the police is here!" And the guy was like, saw the flashing lights from far, and he just booked it and just left my friend there on the ground, all like with scratches on her arm and everything. It took me a while to calm her down, but we'll never know what the hell was that guy doing there waiting outside of the repair shop. Did he follow us since we arrived at work? Has he been following us for days or maybe weeks? I never saw that guy again. That girl, I think, worked at that job for 1 year. She switched to day shift, so I didn't see her again. But man, let me tell you, that was really, really scary. I'm never driving or going with that girl again anytime soon because she was eagerly telling me, "Yeah, this guy can take us home, can take us to work, and we should take his ride." Okay, so this happened to me maybe 1 year after COVID, where cases were like coming down thanks to vaccination. So basically, when cases were coming down and everything, I was gonna say I was going out with this chick. I wouldn't put it like we were like boyfriend and girlfriend. We had like maybe 3 dates, and she had a car. I don't because I live very close to my job, and having a car in my country is really small. It's not needed. She also lived very like close, maybe like I want to say 3 miles. 3 miles, yeah. And well, she brought me home, but we started kissing in the car and everything. It was really late. It was probably like 11 p.m. Everything was close. And of course, as you know, when you start kissing in the car, if the car is big, you try to put the seats on on the back to act like a bed. Nothing happened, it was just like the heat of the moment and everything. And basically, the windows, if you ever done something like this, they get foggy, right? Because of the oxygen, I mean, when you are exhaling, everything gets foggy, it's all contained, so everything gets like really, really hot and it's all steamy and everything. And we were just starting, like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because because she was like way taller than me. I'm 5'9". That woman had to be like 6 something. And she told me I'm gonna park like far away from your house. Like there's a park near my house, and she was like, I'm gonna park there because I think it's really weird that a car in front of you starts like moving or something. And she was like giggling. And we went to a park, and obviously with you know tinted windows plus you cannot see. Somebody like tap on her window, and I was like, what's going on? So we moved the fog stuff from the window of her car, and we saw like a flashing light, and somebody said, oh, police, open up. I was like, weird. Police? They should be like flashing lights. I didn't see them, but she like you know we put pretty much, we were not naked, let's say, the top on, and she put her blouse on, or whatever, and she like rolled down her window just a bit, and she was like, how can I help? And I was like, yeah, what you guys are doing here so late? And we were like, nothing. We were talking. It's like, it doesn't look like you guys were talking. I was like, I'm like, did we break any law, or are we doing something illegal? I'm like, we're just having We're just hanging around here, right? And the guy says, no, 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 I need you guys to step out of the vehicle, hands up and everything. I was like, are you a cop? And he said, yes. I was like, can I see an ID? And the guy started jamming the door, like, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Don't resist the authority. This is not going to end up well for you. This is not going to end up well for you. She just like put the car in drive and she just like speed up from there, like so fast that I couldn't even see my house anymore. And I was like, what the hell was that? And I was like, oh my god, oh my god. And my friend was like, I need to go elsewhere. I need to go elsewhere. That guy was probably recording us or something. I was like, I don't think so. I was like, everything is like tinted on your car. Nothing can be seen from the outside. I think the guy just approached the car, but there were like 5 cars in the park. And she was like, yeah, but this is so creepy. The guy like tried to open my door. Thank God that you remind me to close my doors. I'm like, yeah, always keep them locked, right? And yeah, she got a little bit like, I want to say exacerbated. She was like telling me, I don't know what to do. I don't know what happened. So pretty much I told her, let's go to your house. You stay there. I take an Uber and tomorrow I will check up with you. She was fine the next day. But yeah, it was very scary. Somebody pretending to be a cop. Was that guy was one inside of one of those cars, or was he waiting on the park in a very weird way, listening to us and thinking, "Oh yeah, maybe I can get in and do something to her, to me"? I guess I will never know, but that's really really scary.